it's been a weird day on a couple of fronts, but it doesn't matter now. We're here. I'm here. Ash is here.
I'm here. Michael's here.
Michael's here.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. It's getting redone, so that's why there's nothing really. All my books are down. Everything is. It's kind of crazy.
Let's say yeah. It looks like a pretty bare set over there for you,
It
Michael.
is. It's really sad.
It's kind of
My books are in
yeah.
my trunk.
All your all your pretty stuff is
I know.
missing.
It's not quite the same.
But hey,
And
it'll
I
be worth it.
I have to do my laptop too. I can't because my all my stuff is my computers, all the stuff in the boxes, and so yeah.
Ugh. But it'll be worth it once it's all done, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be exciting. I'm very excited.
Definitely. All right. Well, I'm just trying to get over here to our dashboard just to make sure. But say, those of you out there in Twitch land, is there anybody with us? Hello?
We have Dunic OC, OKC.
Doing, you still there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
how are you
Yeah.
tonight, Dunic? Can you hear us okay? Are we coming through loud and clear?
Oh, good deal.
Okay, good,
Fantastic.
good, good. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yeah, I worry sometimes because
All right.
as we all well know, my track record with OBS right now is just not good. Oh, there's Tackless Crow. Hey, baby. Hey,
Hey.
there you are, my little sound crow. Well, all right. Well, um, first off, um, we just have to thank everybody for helping us reach affiliate status on Twitch.
Woo.
I'll say if you guys hadn't noticed, we have reached the big 50 followers on the Twitch, uh, and with that we have made affiliate. So now we get to have more fun. I was just talking with Michael about we're getting some sound alerts set
Mhm.
up, trying to pull some nice sounds from the podcast for you
Yes.
all to annoy us with. So that's on the way. I'm probably gonna get Connor, our wonderful merch kobold, is going to. I'm gonna see if I can get him to do some emotes for us and some other fun things. So that's coming down the pipeline. It's just getting the time to do it, which is time is a very precious thing.
Yeah. Someone's at my door.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
yes. So we are still going through Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. We took a
Yeah.
week off last week because for those of you who don't know, I am actually studying to be a funeral director. So I had a
Yes.
big anatomy test last week that I was like, I love you all, and I love going through Van Richten's, but I do need some time to study. So that's why we did not stream last week, but we are here this week. And
Mhm.
probably going forward, we might actually push the time of the stream back a little bit. Um, just because, and there's our lovely ginger halfling. That would be Miss
Ah,
Carrie.
it's
Welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. Um, but yeah, so we might be pushing the time back a little bit, probably to about 6:30,
yeah.
just to kind of give me time to get home from work, and to decompress just a little bit before hopping
Yeah.
on to
Now,
hang out
now
with
that
all you
everyone's back
guys.
to work, now that everyone's back to work, traffic has gotten back to where it was before. So
Yeah,
you
everyone's
just know you can't
everyone's
turn
everyone's driving again.
between 4 and 6. It's just insane to get
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's crazy. So yeah, so we're,
That's why I
we're
love
probably gonna push the stream back a little bit to about 6:30. So
6:30. I think it's good. A good time.
yeah,
Good
give
time.
everyone a little more time to get off work and to get here. Yeah, I was saying it looks like, yeah, Dunek, you agree too, because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
six
No,
six
it's
is a
not
little
right.
early. I realized that after it wasn't so bad before when I had Tuesdays off, and now they're working me on Tuesdays. So it's a mess. We won't get into it. It's just a mess, like my life. Well, if I say, is there any other interesting D&D news, Michael?
There is. There's the Forgotten Realms Magic the Gathering cards are going to be coming out. And I've never played Magic the Gathering. I've watched people play it. I've always been fascinated by it, but it just looks too complicated to learn, which is stupid. Any game can be learned. It just takes time to figure it out. And I thought, well, at least if I had cards that I was interested in, and I would truly be interested in the Forgotten Realms cards, I would understand them. Whereas I look at a Magic the Gathering card, it shows me a land or a person or an NPC, whatever. I don't understand what that means. But if you show me, a certain land that I understand, a certain NPC that I understand, a certain, character that I understand, then I'm gonna get it, and I think it'll help me play a little bit easier. Hopefully, so hopefully Johnny's going to teach me.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
good. Apparently, we've been talking in our Discord. For those of
Yes.
you who are part of the Red Dirt Discord, and Johnny is kind of our resident magic person, so he
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about. Zonimus knows what he's talking about. So maybe he'll sit down and be kind and teach us all. I know I personally can't afford the cardboard crack.
No, 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 no.
Being a student right now, I cannot afford it, but kudos to you guys, and I genuinely hope that you guys have fun with it. I will say it's not necessarily my cup of tea. I love the artwork of Magic cards. I did briefly there for a little while when I was a very young Ash. I tried my hand at playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments back when that was a thing. Got my ass wiped up and down
Yeah.
the floor constantly, but it was fun. But a friend tried to get me into Magic. He built me a deck, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I played like once, and then never again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I figure maybe I'll learn. I'm actually more excited about. I've started reading the books, of course. And I want to start reading the Magic the Gathering settings
Mm-hmm.
and see how I feel. I never got a chance to read them, so now I'm going to get a chance to read them. I'm reading them right in between reading. I'm also reading Dune. I'm also reading Isaac Asimov. So in between, and I'm reading Sweet Tooth, the comic. So I've got so much stuff I'm reading right now, but I plan to go in and read those as well. So just to get into kind of, if a lot of people ask for more settings, and those are definite settings, so I want to read through them and at least kind of get an idea of them.
Kind of, yeah, just get a feel for all of that and see how it goes. I know. I don't know. Like I said, I know. For me, I mean, yeah, you talk about your reading list just now being like all of these magic books. I've got my reading list over here that's all different things for Red Dirt.
Yes.
My indigenous peoples history of America. I need to dive into that. So yeah, no, there's just I definitely agree with Ginger Halfling, and there's a lot to keep track of in Magic, and a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of lore. I know there's a lot of lore in Magic, so I mean, if that's your cup of tea, more power to you.
Yeah.
So what have you been hearing about Dark Alliance? I've been seeing some not so fond reviews
Yeah,
about Dark
I'm really
Alliance.
bad. Every time I turn on something new, and I get D&D Dungeons and Dragons alerts on my Google alerts, and every time Dark Alliance comes up, it was all this. Hey, it's going to be coming out. There's going to be this. You're going to be able to do couch play. You're going to be able to do all this kind of things, and everyone's really excited about it. And then it came out, and people were like, "This is a hot mess." I don't know. Maybe that's one of those games I should grab and start playing on Twitch, just to see what it's like.
See if the rumors are true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because
That's my problem, because like I never like there are like granted there are some games that I am like the hype meister for, and like if I find out there's a new installment coming out, I'm like, even if it's a hot mess, I'm still gonna hype it.
right,
Kingdom Hearts.
yeah,
Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, like those series, I'm a little more, I'm like, okay, right or die with it. Um, but honestly, like from yeah, and just from what I've been seeing is yeah, it's just like it's just not good. Which I mean, I hate to like I don't like to be the doomsayer. Like I don't really pass judgment on games until they come out and you can really see like what the
Mhm.
gameplay's like and what they're about. But for some reason, Dark Alliance just always kind of I was always a little hesitant about it
Mhm.
from when it was announced, just the style of the gameplay and like the whole concept of hey, you know, you and three friends can play as these four iconic Legend of Dritz characters and you're just going to go off and like go do dungeons and fight monsters or something or other. And
Mhm.
I don't know, I guess my whole thing is that I just want more out of a D&D game. Like I
Right.
don't know if I just need to go back and play cuz they actually have like Planescape and Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate and like all of
Right.
those classic games. They actually have those on Steam for
Yes.
pretty good prices. I mean, I think they're only
Plus,
about
plus there's yeah,
like $20 a pop.
we're really cheap. Plus, there's also this Solasta that is supposed to be. They say it gets that feeling of playing 5e Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
Crown of Madness, I think, is the name of it, and it's just I've heard really amazing things from it. So that is if you want to play a 5e game, play this Solasta. And since Wizards of the Coast has actually spent a lot of money to create a video gaming aspect of itself, you'd think since they spent all this money, they'd be putting out better quality. So it's a little disappointing that this is the kind of thing they're putting out because you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, and
Yeah,
that's really
exactly.
Dark
It's
Alone.
going to be one of those things. It's going to be interesting seeing how it's handled going forward. Just um cuz like I'm just kind of sitting I was actually kind of sitting here like maybe waiting for like an announcement of like DLC of additional characters.
Mm.
Um cuz like that would be my thing is like I'm not personally very interested in the in the roster.
Yeah.
I will be the first person to admit that like I love ragging on Dritz. I don't really feel like playing as Dritz. I rag on Dritz enough whenever I play like certain aspects of Neverwinter.
Yeah.
The free to play MMO, which is not bad by the way. It's not the worst D&D game in the world. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Um, but yeah, like I don't know, like there's just we'll have to see kind of how it works out going forward if maybe they put out some patches and fix some things, but I would say that like I think we probably need to like do a stream that's like pick up some of those old D&D games or maybe just talk about like you know if you and I were the designers of a Dungeons and Dragons video game, like what would we want to do?
Yeah.
Because my whole thought process was if I'm going to be playing a Legend of Dritz game, like if it's supposed to be a Legend of Dritz game,
Mhm.
that's what I would want. I would want a story driven single player experience,
Yeah.
not this weird kind of multiplayer dungeon crawl kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's unfortunately that's where they've come. That's where they feel like they've gotten away from the old fashioned, because of course text scrawling and all that stuff was kind of boring, and so
Well, not
but
even
that
like not even a text scrolling game. Like I mean, I hate to say it, but the best Dungeons and Dragons game out on the market right now is probably Dragon Age.
mm,
Like if I were to point to a game and be like this is what I would want my Dungeons and Dragons game to be like, unfortunately I'm going to say like Dragon Age
yeah,
because of the heavy there's pretty heavy character customization involved with the Dragon Age games because you can customize your Inquisitor in Dragon Age 3. You can customize Hawk in 2. You can customize your Warden in Dragon Age Origins, and throughout the game yes, you're allowed a very limited amount of like dialogue choices, but you are given all of these different choices on how your character reacts to things and what they say and what they do. And that to me really would be the heart of like a Dungeons and Dragons game, but
Right.
that's just me.
Yeah.
Um I just want to check out there in Twitch land. How is Michael sounding? Because I know just through my speakers, you are really low, and I'm struggling to hear you.
We're struggling to hear me. Well, I usually louder. I'm 10 times louder than
You're 10 times.
Ash.
I've cranked him up because I'm actually personally like I'm personally having.
I don't even know if there's a way for me to fix.
Yeah, I'm trying to play with it over here. Um, I don't know. I'm personally having trouble hearing him tonight, and I feel bad.
Um, wait, so I've just tried to automatically adjust the microphone volume.
Okay,
So, Ginger Halfling, is that a little bit better?
is that better for Mike?
Of course, the other problem is that I tend to project no matter what.
Right.
My wife actually has to move her head when I start talking if she's laying on my
Nice.
shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I
Did that
don't
really
know.
get help?
I'm
Okay.
like personally having trouble hearing Mike. I don't know if maybe I should swap over to a headset and see if that helps. But I don't know. It's been a day.
It's been
It's
a
been
day.
a day.
Well, if that helps, yeah, I know. Turn off my theater voice. I'd stop projecting. I can't help it. I can't help it. Karen Baker taught me in high school how to hit the back row, and that's just how and I even if I have a microphone. So that's why I have to actually stay back away from my microphones when I'm speaking. So
It's a
uh,
it's a good problem to have, Mike. It really
yes,
is a good problem to have. Well, hopefully that helped a little bit. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I'm personally struggling tonight. The struggle is real.
yeah.
Um, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, I can't. I'm having trouble hearing him. Is everyone else having trouble hearing him? I cranked him up so that
So that you can hear, but it's yeah. I don't know. That's the only thing I could do is take let it.
I don't know. It
It's
might
supposed
just be yeah. It might just be the laptop. I don't know what it is, but
It's
we'll
true.
we'll get through it. It's how long is this construction in your house going to take, Mr. Cross?
Well, what's funny is next week I'm actually not going to be here. I'm going to be on vacation, but I'll be doing this from vacation. So we'll find out. Yeah,
Well, we'll find it. We'll have to see how it goes out next week too.
we'll see how that works as well.
Well,
Before
I
I
think
found out we can do it on the computer, it's just the volume might not be as good as when I actually have my setup, my microphone, and my mixer and everything like that.
all
So
right. We'll just see how it goes. Like I said, we'll just struggle through it. We'll just be on the struggle bus together. It's fine. Well, I think we have ranted enough about
yes.
about recent D&D news. We've ranted enough about weird sound problems.
I
Are we ready to dive
think
back into the
let's
domains of dread?
let's dive back into these wonderful, wonderful, delightful domains.
The most wonderful, most delightful place in all all the realms.
Yes. So we've got so we left off and we were just about to jump into Haslin. Uh,
Halakir with yeah, we've
we did Harakir with the Octopot, the Egyptian gods, or a twist on the Egyptian gods.
yes.
Um,
Ooh, so Dunik put a story. Dunik says, got to play my first Van Richten's character in a one shot last week. Was quite surprised just how thematic the damn fear was. Was a creepy dude spider climbing right to the caster in the back. Yeah, spider climb, my dude, is such a it's such an underrated spell. Like
right.
I love spider climb. It's so much fun, but not enough people like take it and use it and run with it. I love it so much.
Everybody wants to fly.
Everyone wants to fly. No one wants to spider climb.
Spider, man, if you can get up the walls and yeah, you can come down on people. We've had a guy on who I play with on Saturday nights. That's what he would do. He'd just climb up on the wall and just jump. on top of them.
That's how my
Like,
I have a drow rogue that has the cloak of Arachnia,
mm,
which allows her to spider climb while keeping her hands free.
yeah.
So it's A plus, A plus. But yes, we got through uh, Harkir,
Mhm.
and we are now on to Haslan.
Haslan, the place being destroyed by magic. And I love the idea of we've got a red wizard carryover from the Forgotten Realms who has taken over this domain. Uh,
Not only that, a red wizard who betrayed his boyfriend. Like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, how heartbreaking. But then again, that's red wizards for you.
yeah, you can never trust them.
never trust, never trust a red wizard. That is your life lesson for today. It's just never, ever, ever trust the red wizards of Thay. It is a bad idea, kids. Bad
On
idea.
a Saturday night group, my son, who was DMing, had I was playing a female tabaxi, and her sister had just run off and done something. She showed back up as a red wizard of Thay, and I'm like, no,
No.
oh, you did not.
No. How do they handle the tattoos? Where she just shaved like a Sphinx cat?
Yeah, pretty much. But then I turned her back to the light side, so it was really cool.
She saw the light and came back.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But
Um,
that's yeah. I love the idea of the going through the experimentation, and the experimentation again. It comes back. All of these you can really find something that is a reflection of our modern day, and this again is that idea of exploitation of land, of resources, that's slowly destroying your world. And then you know the more and more you try to exploit the land, and the more you exploit the resources, it's bad. It's bad. Whether it's magic, whether it's oil, whether it's whatever, you should be careful of your resources.
yeah, and well, I got the feel. So the thing I got more the feel of from Hasland, is that so I feel like one of the things that we don't really talk about a lot in D&D is the quite frankly highly dangerous nature of magic.
Mhm.
It's magic is kind of one of those things I feel like D&D players take for granted. Like it's something that, as player characters, almost like, that's the joke for 5th edition, right? Is that almost every class has a spell casting variant. So magic kind of just becomes old hat. And
Right.
it's just the thing that you do, and you don't necessarily think too hard about it in terms of like, what these spells actually mean and what this stuff actually means for like the common person. And Haslan, I feel, is really where it kind of brings it to the forefront of, yes, we should be questioning
Yeah.
when people have the ability to literally rip holes in the fabric of reality.
Right.
Like that's a dangerous thing. That's like the Soviets being
Mm.
all excited to play with nuclear power, and being willing to push the envelope and push the envelope and push the envelope, and then Chernobyl.
Well, right. Exactly.
Right,
Yeah,
like,
and you're right. But I think it is also because that's the way 5e is really built. It's such a magic heavy. I was reading through some of the backgrounds that they've created for again some of these Magic the Gathering settings. Some of the backgrounds give you free spells. You've got race setting spells. You've got everybody's got spells. You walk by the peasant, he's casting spells. It's everybody is casting magic. What does that do? It's not just every now and then you've got this one great wizard. It's I think one of the reasons why Tolkien really never had a lot of magic in his world was because he understood that it's as unnatural as everything else. And so you know when he's trying to push his hobbits being back to nature, and uh, even magic shouldn't be exploited. And what you get with Haslan is that idea that this exploitation really will destroy your world.
Yeah, and it's and I mean, and that's part of the thing is that they need, they need more and more magic to fuel their discoveries and to fuel the things that they're doing. And like, not only that, they need more and more people to experiment on and
Yeah,
to test out these magical theories. And hey, go poke the portal, see what happens.
I know.
you know like, and yeah, I yeah, I feel like that is definitely something that's definitely a question that very rarely gets asked in
Mhm.
Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm really happy to see that there is a place where that question is being asked. And the answer is definitely ambiguous,
Yeah,
because it's as much a help as it is a hindrance. The
yeah.
discoveries, they're amazing and fantastic, but at what cost?
Right, and I love the idea of the wild magic. Of course, one of my first memories of you was realizing that I could play a wild magic sorcerer as I was reading through Xanathars, and I love the idea of wild magic. I think it's so much fun, uh, and the idea that you've got an entire domain that you cast a spell and stuff's going to hit the fan because you
You
never
cast a
know what's going to
spell, and
happen.
because the fabric of reality here has been so warped by just the constant ripping of reality, the constant changing of reality, it has just caused it to where it's unpredictable.
Yeah, and if you ever get bored with just the wild magic table that's in Wizards of the Coast, just Google wild magic table, and there are so many homebrewed tables out there that could just you could have so much fun. Okay, roll a d6, and okay, it's gonna be on one of these six tables that you're gonna actually roll on. Yeah, just have fun with it. You could just have an amazing time with this.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, definitely.
Uh,
Definitely.
so ICAF is our next one. The domain trapped in dream. Uh, freaky, freaky. As I was reading this, I'm like, boy, this is gonna give me nightmares.
What, you don't want to fall asleep in the decrepit ruined mansion and be forced to uh work to bring the glorious dream city into reality.
And whilst your body is wasting away. And when and if you don't go to sleep, there's like these undead things that come
Oh,
at
the
you.
the Jiangxi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a wonder. I mean, that is and what this is one of those where if you're a player out there, don't read this chapter because your DM is going to have so much fun introducing you to this world that you have no idea what's going on. Because that's what the DM could do in this world. You could walk right into this domain and have no idea what is happening, and it's going to take you 5 to 6 sessions before you even figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
let's
and
say, yeah, so Ginger Halfling says, so spirited away. Well,
yes,
very, yeah, it has a little bit of those, it has a little bit of those elements. So iCath is definitely based much more in Chinese,
yeah,
not, so it's not Japanese, it's Chinese. The Jiangxi are actually Chinese. They're sometimes described as like Chinese vampires or Chinese zombies, because they are actually a traditional undead figure in
mhm,
Chinese mythology. The fun thing about them is they hop. They are the infamous hopping vampires of Chinese folklore. And that, yeah, and like it is very kind of Forbidden City, like, definitely very, very, very heavily influenced by Chinese folklore and Chinese mythology. Um, yeah, just that whole, like, I was reading this last night for ICAF, and I was just like, yeah, I can. There's so many good ideas here about just, you wake up in the beautiful city, but something's not quite right.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it doesn't
then,
seem quite right. No, in the meantime, your body's wasting away.
hmm
Yeah. And I love the idea of the daughters, Xing Cheng, and they really give them such great personalities
yeah,
that you can really build these as NPCs without any trouble at all. It's really built in there. That each one of them has their own personality and their own way of thinking and doing things. So you could have a lot of fun with each one of them sending you on individual quests. This was one of those that I thought this one you could seriously run an entire campaign on.
oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot. Like there's definitely a lot of inspirational material for ICATH to do multiple, like yeah, a multi adventure campaign in ICATH. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
love, and it definitely gives you some different flavor, especially if you're willing to dive into, you know, Chinese history and Chinese folklore and bring in some more of that. Like that's what I would love to see. I would love to see maybe like somebody who knows their stuff, like
Right.
write me a full on ICATH campaign with just as much folklore and as much history as you can shove in there and get it going for me. Like I would love to see that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of similar to like what we do with Ratoya. But yeah, I
Hmm.
would love to see somebody who really knows their stuff like write an entire campaign in here. So,
Yeah. I think anytime, and of course, one of the things I do love about this book overall was the fact that there was so much diversity into East Asian. Later on, we'll talk about Mesoamerican, there's Russian mythology, there's Egyptian, uh, and East Indian, and I love the fact that we've got those in. And as I was reading this, I was hoping that this would inspire so many of the juices of writers out there that in the next few months we'll start seeing DM's Guild get populated with these games, and they don't have to necessarily be mind blowing. Put them on Kickstarter types. Just put them out on DM's Guild, and we'll pay for them. Put out $5, $10 for a game for these sessions. I was hoping it would get the juices flowing. It still might, because I would love to see some people go, yeah, I could make a world of that, and yeah, I could actually produce that and put that out on DM's Guild. Again, I'm not talking about some major Kickstarter. You have to make millions of dollars for it. Just write a campaign up, put it out there, and see if see what people think,
yeah.
because that's just an opportunity just to get your name out there. We've got a lot of creators. Some of the ones we talk about on the Tome, or who are on the Tome show, who just started out just making their own games and putting them out. Now they're working for Keith Baker on Eberron and things like that. So DMs out there, write your stuff, put it out there, and you'll get better and better and better. And eventually, people might start to notice. You go, hey, you get picked up by Kobold Press. You get picked up by the myriad of third-party groups out there.
Oh yeah. And of course the beauty of the DMs Guild is that you don't necessarily need, like, you can write in 5th edition settings without needing special permission. Like
Right,
you don't have to go out and get the copyrights. Like
right.
it's all available for you to, I mean, granted, yes, you do have to sign away your creative rights to
Yeah.
the content to Wizards, but again, if you're already, you're already writing in their IP anyways, so
Mhm.
it makes it a little easier to kind of get away with some stuff. That's kind of one of the things we're running into right now, trying to get the campaign setting for Ratoya ready to go, is at making sure that um, it's as clean of Wizards of the Coast IP as possible. So that's one of the reasons there's a bit of a hiccup in getting the Ratoya campaign guide out there. I promise we're working on it. It's taking a little long. It's taking a little more time than what I would have liked, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, and we are. I do promise we are working on that to get that available to patrons and fans of Red Dirt D&D.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Calicari.
Kalikari. Ooh. I
What did
think
you think of this one? Oh, this okay. Now I remember.
yeah,
I had to
this
read.
so this yeah, this is the one with the three siblings.
Mm.
The
Two
three
siblings.
the no, there's the three siblings. There's a sister the sister who was killed.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yes.
Um Maharani Ramya Vasavadhan.
Yes.
She was the queen who got her siblings basically staged a coup and killed her, and then the mists came in, revived her as a death knight. She came in, murdered her siblings, who then turned into a raksha, and what did the other one turn
The
into?
Arcanoloth.
An arcanoloth.
The
So a
Arcanoloth.
raksha and an arcanoloth. And now they're stuck in this dread domain, just constantly having intrigues with one another to try and scramble onto the Sapphire Throne.
Mhm.
Um, my first and only thought was just Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Game of Thrones set in East India. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And
If Game of Thrones was a domain of dread, this is it.
yes. And again, another great idea behind pulling away from from the Western European ideal of D&D to go into a different culture, to the idea that you could bring in all these bright colors, and then just this wonderful culture, something that I personally would not feel qualified to write, but I know there are creators out there
Mm-hmm.
who are very qualified to write in this Indian lore that would just be phenomenal. And I would love to see it. And then I would gladly run it. But I just don't feel like I have the ability to touch this kind to really give it what it should.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that it's out there now, that somebody who does have this ability can put it out, and then we can all play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like I do definitely agree with you. Just in terms of like, it's definitely something that you know, while it can be understood and it can be written by anybody who has the gumption and has the willingness to do it, it would be very neat to actually see someone of South Asian descent
Mhm.
writing for Calicari and just seeing what they could bring to it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, I
I
think that,
like I don't know. There's something for me personally. There's just something about intrigues
mhm,
that like I know they can be really difficult to run in D&D, but I love them.
mhm.
I love them. I love the renown system.
The
That
Renown System in this thing is
oh
phenomenal. Oh, it's
oof.
so good.
I'm probably going to jack that for campaign 2 of
Yeah,
for
which
Render
one you
D&D campaign
should.
2. Just you heard it here first, folks. Be forewarned. Campaign 2 Renown System
Yeah.
coming.
Which it should. That's exactly how Renown should be. And I think it got kind of watered down in Sword Code that
Well, I
it
think the
was.
problem so the problem with the Renown System in Sword Coast was that at first it wasn't enough. Like it was just kind of bragging rights.
Mm,
And then as time went by, as we finally like we got to what was it, season 7 with the would have been season 7. Season
that
7
jolt.
finally had like a almost fully realized, fully fleshed out renown document and
Yeah.
renown system for the factions. And then of course in season 8 they just balled it up, tossed it over the shoulder and said we're just getting rid of it,
They
period.
got rid of everything in season eight. Season eight was such a, it was a season eight. That's why television stations don't go to television shows don't go to season eight. It
Stop.
just, you're asking for trouble. You're just
You
asking for
jump the
trouble.
shark, it's over.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, and it was just like, and that was really hurtful. I'm not I'm not gonna lie. As somebody who actually had a character that I had invested in the Zentarum, and I was gung ho. I was so happy. I had gotten her, like, she was nearly like max rank Zentarum,
Mhm.
and then and then the Red War happened.
Yes.
And it hurt. It hurt a little bit when and it just feels like Adventures League has never been the same since. But
Yeah.
that's a conversation for another time with
But
probably a little bit
we
more
will have that
wine.
conversation here at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And next time I play Adventures League. Um, but I did love the fact that with the mechanics of the Renown was that you could go backwards and forwards. That and every time you advance, that's the other thing was when you advanced in Renown in the way it was set up in the original in Sword Coast and Adventures League was you just advanced. You know, you just got more and more famous. Whereas this one, if you're getting renown in one faction, you're getting a negative renown in the other faction,
Yeah.
and that's just as bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, how will that play out when you go talk even just to the bartender who might have a you know be more loyal to this other guy? You know, could he slip some poison in your drink? What you know, what's it going to do? How's it going to happen? You know, so
And that's really how you kind of have to think about any sort of intrigue campaign, is that you really have to you have to build out factions, and you have to build out the expectations of those factions and the actions that, if your characters do X, Y, or Z, how is person A going to feel about it? How is person B going to feel about it? Especially if, it is something that is going to get back to those individuals. So,
right,
and in a good intrigue campaign, oh, it's gonna
yeah,
every
yeah.
every little action is going to get back to your benefactor, as it should.
Yeah, and that's again why intrigue is also so hard is because not only do you have to be thinking about their reactions, but you have to be thinking while your players are doing something, other stuff is going on, and you've got to be thinking about that. And that's why, and it's why yeah, DMs it's not easy to do. Once you get good at it, though, once you're away from the dungeon crawls, you've gone through the dungeon crawls, you've gone through, try a little bit of political intrigue because it really your players will love it because they've got to be thinking on their toes more than just there's a goblin in my face, you know.
That's when you really get to throw in a lot of the fun skill stuff.
Mhm.
Those are the campaigns that really reward good role playing, and they really reward good choices in terms of what skills did you take. Did you make sure to build, you know an appropriate character,
Right.
which, definitely goes back to, a good session zero.
Mhm.
An intrigue campaign lives or dies by a session zero, and lives or dies by the willingness and the investment that the players put into it. So,
Yeah. And it's so good that Wizards of the Coast really has invested itself in explaining. We've always known about Session Zero. You can find it all over the place. But really, with Tasha's and Ravenloft, Wizards has said, okay, here's how you do it because you have to. And yeah, you'd definitely have to do it for intrigue. You also have to do it for a dungeon crawl. You have to do it for an overland adventure. The last thing you want is a complete dungeon crawl and you're taking in your druid that might not be able to do the things. The last thing you want is an intrigue campaign. You're bringing in a barbarian. You know, they'll work, but you've got to
they
color them.
they
You
work,
know, you've got to color
but
them to work
yeah,
for that campaign.
the
Um,
expectation, uh, the the players must understand the expectations that you have of their characters. So, because yeah, you can totally work a barbarian in an intrigue campaign because they're the muscle, they're the
Yes.
bouncer, you know. But you have to, but you're the player of that particular barbarian has to understand that no, I can't just rage smash hit thing. I have to play my cards right and do it smartly. So
And hopefully you would build that character to be more than just the muscle, more than just the tank. Be the bruiser, but also maybe you're just got a little bit of wisdom that you know what you're doing. That maybe people take you for granted because you're the muscle. I mean,
you
that would
look
get
you
that
look
one.
big and dumb as a bag of rocks, but
Yeah,
really,
yeah. You can't, don't judge a book by its cover. That's where you can have a lot of fun. But again, it goes back to the session zero, and I love the fact that Wizards of the Coast, with Tasha's, with Ravenloft, has really said, yeah, don't take, because I had that about 3 or 4 years ago. I had a DM who just went, okay, everyone create your characters and I'll surprise you with what the game's going to be. And I'm like, well, I want to create my character for the campaign. Because if I'm going into Strahd, it's going to be totally different than if I'm going in Chult.
mm-hmm.
That those are two totally different styles that I'm going to, it's going to change up how I work my character. Not necessarily, power gaming or min max or anything like that. It's just I want to be able to fit into that campaign. You wouldn't write a book where the characters didn't fit into your novel. So talk to them, let them know, let them know what's going on, and that way everybody can create and everyone will have fun with it. Then it makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, your players will have much more fun with it, and they'll be a lot less. Um, I hate to use the word infighting, but there will definitely be a lot less friction at the table when you have you know because unfortunately I've been in some situations where you have the player who just really wants to play a character that's contrary to the campaign,
Mhm.
and it gets so frustrating
Yeah,
because it's like everyone else is working towards this specific goal of what the campaign is, and you're over there doing the dumb,
yeah,
and it's just driving everybody batty.
yeah,
So I love you guys. I love dumb characters. I love troublemakers, and you know, but understand that there is definitely a time and place,
right.
and you do still have to be working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
Connor actually has a character that I absolutely love to hate. It's a character called Knight, and she's a drow assassin who can't drow.
Oh,
Like the joke is she doesn't really know how to be a drow because she got kicked out at like basically the equivalent of like 18. And so uh Knight would butt heads with my drow sorcerer Roxy, who
mm,
Roxy did know how to drow. Roxy just rejected drow society because Roxy was a trans woman.
mm,
So you can imagine the frictions there. But and yeah, it was so much fun because Connor knew when to push Knight's,
right.
like when to push those characteristics of Knight that made them a pain in the ass,
Mm,
and also knew when to kind of pull it back and actually like behave, for
right.
lack of better term. But
Well, to allow the story to go, allow the story to move. It's we're all creating a story, and you would never be a story where you had one character.
you might read
Yeah,
it, but you're gonna be yelling at the book a lot.
yeah. Well, but eventually you would stop reading it because it got tiresome.
Yeah, you got so
You would have
frustrated.
you'd have to eventually go, okay, so at some point this has got to mesh. The heroes have got to come together because otherwise it just doesn't work. And I mean, we on Red Dirt D&D, we've had our times when we've fought, but you know, but you come together as because you're heroes, regardless of what you're doing. You're trying to move a story forward, and that's even if you're playing an evil campaign, you're still heroes trying to move a story forward. even if it's in a bad way. So you that's the whole idea behind the story. It's storytelling. And if you're not working together, if you're working as the NPC, then you're taking away the DM's job. Let the DM be the antagonist or bring in the antagonistic characters.
Yes.
Don't you add that?
Let the DM bring in the outside forces that are going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
You know, when you're within the party, yeah, you can have disagreements and you can have friction as long as, you know, everybody understands like how to continue to move forward past the friction. But
Yeah, and hopefully somewhat quickly, so that way it doesn't drag down them.
yeah.
I've been at tables for 4 hours of, oh my gosh, they're just not going to stop arguing.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I've uh I had an experience when in a Shadowrun game. I was playing Shadowrun with some guys, and one of them, the guy who was playing our mage at the time, was just he just didn't he never played well with others.
No.
And his character continuously made very questionable decisions, and the player just continuously defended those questionable decisions, and it was a mess. Eventually, we
Yeah,
actually had to tell him to retire that character if he wanted to continue playing with us.
yeah.
So,
So just remember that it's collaborative. We're all working together for the same goal. So, and
it's a
most of
big
that
give and
goal is to
take.
have fun. Yeah. So I do want to real quick because we've got about looks like 9 minutes.
About 9 minutes. Do you want to try and go over
How
Carticast, or do we want to save Carticast for next week?
Cartacast, yeah. Cartacast I love because I just and we could just no we didn't get oh but I'm not gonna get to it. Darn, my favorite one. We'll get to it next
Still,
week.
still.
Cartacast, fun. Oh my gosh. Now, how do you take a domain of dread and have fun with it? You touched a little bit on the carnival, but this one really is. I mean, fame.
This is
I'm gonna
Coachella.
live forever.
This is
This is
Vegas, baby.
yeah. This oh, I love that. I hadn't thought about that one. Yes,
It's Vegas, baby.
the quest for fame, the quest for those retweets and those likes and those. This is I. The more I read this, I was like, oh, this is today. This is people
This
of
is us
today.
right now on Twitch,
I know. And I
selling our
admit,
souls
oh,
out there.
if you know, if you ever said you would you rather be rich or famous, and I want to be famous. I don't care. That's because
That's Carticast, baby.
yeah, it is, and I love the Dark Lord, who isn't a Strahd. He isn't a ruler. He isn't, he's just a bard that's constantly seeking after fame.
The wandering wastrel and minstrel who seeks fame and just wants to be a figure of renown,
Mhm.
and his torment is that it's just never gonna happen for him. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's talented and people like him, and you know he's well spoken, but he can never and he's a werewolf.
Yeah,
It's
he's a
such a
werewolf.
good, like, okay, so here's my thing. Here's my thing, Michael. I don't know if you know this about me, but werewolves are my jam.
Oh, they're like,
Yeah, like
so like werewolves, vampires.
werewolves, vampires.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like, so I love werewolves so much more than vampires, and I always love it when someone does something different with the werewolves, because like
Mhm.
the main story that everyone kind of goes to with werewolves is um the beastly aspects, the, oh, it's my inner beast coming out and I'm just gonna tear the world apart in my quest for, you know, my quest for vengeance or for rage or, you know, for food or for love or whatever, like whatever it is. It's they focus so much on that, like, just that inner beast
Mhm.
bursting out. But I feel that there's more. There could be more to
Yeah.
werewolves. And because, you know, it's based around that very kind of European idea and especially like Eastern European idea of the werewolf, because actually like Irish werewolves are super helpful.
Yeah.
They're actually known for like leaving fish on people's windowsills. Like and there's like a good, like the Greek legends about werewolves are like it was like basically if a werewolf could abstain from attacking somebody for 7 years, then they could transform back
Mm.
into, like, they could become human again. So there's a lot more out there to werewolves than just, Universal's the Wolfman, where you transform by the light of the full moon and go on a rampage.
Yeah.
So
Very Jekyll and Hyde type of thing. Yeah.
yeah, I love Harkon. I love the fact that he's a werewolf and that his hunger is, the hunger for fame and the hunger
Yeah.
for connection.
And to watch, and not only that he never, his torment not only is that he will never get there, but to watch other people reach that ultimate success that he has always wanted. And again, the fact that he's a dark lord, he is the dark lord of this domain, and yet he will never be that powerful, godlike, king-like figure, because that's his torment. And he, his backstabbing is, I now here's the thing though, I wasn't certain about what kind of game you would play in this. So what kind of game would you play in this, Ash?
Ooh. Um so I definitely could see it. I think my thought process is very much kind of so like the story, like the band movie, like let's put it that way, like
Mm-hmm.
you start off with, like, you got your little garage band, your group of adventurers who's out there, seeking the fame and the fortune. Like this would be a good adventure to push the bard to the forefront. I know bards like have a tendency to like
Mm-hmm.
push themselves to the forefront anyway because they're a charisma based class, but you really could have it be the story of, you know, you're out there trying to make your name in the world, and here comes this wonderful benefactor, Harkon Lucas. Hi, I'm your new manager. Do what I say, and, you'll be famous, kid.
Mm-hmm.
But, the manager's like riding on the coattails of fame, or at least trying to. And
Yeah.
and then because again it's Harkon, so his frustration is just, I am doing everything for you. I am getting you to these points, and you keep ruining these opportunities. And then you just
Well,
have like that twist in the third act, right? Of the character that you thought was, the kind, helpful, benevolent. I'm going to help you out and help you get where you want to go. And then you have that twist in the third act where he just turns on you.
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's what I would do.
Yeah. So playing instead of where a domain of dread, where your adventurers or outside visitors actually have, your adventurers are born, lived, they know this domain. This is where and the whole idea of maybe an entire party of bards. Wow.
Yeah.
That are just, that is their desires. And maybe you could set up almost a renown system for fame in this if you wanted to as a DM.
Yeah.
To really play that out, and how,
Yeah.
yeah, you
I
have a
mean, and
lot
it
of.
doesn't like it doesn't even necessarily, it wouldn't even necessarily have to be characters that were um born in the domain. You could still have it be outsiders who again basically hear about, like, hey, this is the Coachella of,
Yeah,
this is a Vegas, baby. If you
that's
make it
true.
here, you can
That's
make it
true.
anywhere.
Well, see, that's where, and that's where I was going to get someone outside. I would do that. It's like, oh, hey, I heard this great concert. Yeah, let's go see it. And then all hell breaks loose as things.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Get
when you could really have a lot of fun, and just go crazy with it. There's an old movie called The Phantom. What was
Phantom of the Paradise.
Phantom of the Paradise? Yes, yes.
Yes,
That
that
you could
the
have
very the
so
very
much fun.
interesting retelling of the Phantom of the Opera with
Yeah,
with like synthetic EDM music.
yes. It would be. I gotta see that again now. I gotta look that up, see when I can see that.
You and I need to have a watch party because I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen like a review of Phantom of the Paradise, but I've never actually seen Phantom of the Paradise.
I think I saw it in the theater. Yeah. That and Wizards. I mean, I don't know. My dad took me to see Wizards when I was 7 years old.
Much and you know the world has never been the same since, Mr. Cross.
No, no. I saw Ralph Bakshi once and I am hooked.
um, but yeah, no, I feel like I could come up with some really good like I feel like Cartacas has a lot of potential in there for a really interesting just a really interesting story with
Yeah,
some sort of fame seeking thing. And again, I love the idea of having Harkon Lucas like be the party's benefactor for
yeah,
90% of the story, and then right there right at the very end the switch flips
yeah.
and the story just goes completely off the rails. um yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's been an hour, and I think so. We're going to start doing this at 6:30, guys. So spread the word, let everyone know.
I'll
I
definitely
think,
I'll definitely change it on our Twitch schedule, so that
yeah,
way and we'll make sure to change it like on our announcements and stuff, so that way you guys know um that we're doing it again,
yeah.
starting at 6:30 now, just to give everybody a little more time to kind of get here and filter in and relax a little bit. um I'll say we've got, of course, new episode of Red Dirt D&D drops tomorrow.
Yeah, episode 51, baby.
Episode 51, baby. We are chugging right along into the next story arc, and it is, oh, it's a beauty. It's a
Yeah.
booty. It's beautiful.
Oh, God, the next few episodes, guys, they will knock you on your butts. I tell you, they knocked me on my butt, and
You lived it.
I lived it.
That's
So
why it
yeah.
knocked it on your butt.
Also here on Twitch, we're going to do, we've still got plausible deniability. Ash has been doing a lot more. You've been doing a lot more of the gaming. I've been thinking, come fall when I have my afternoons free and my wife's back at work, I might start doing some gaming, some video gaming. I'm not good at it. If you want to watch a new play some video games, boy, yeah, I'll be like that military guy walking into a wall the entire time. I had nowhere to go. Yeah, that's me. If you like watching that, I'm gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I was say I've started doing. I'm gonna start doing I'm calling it my lazy DM day. It's gonna be Sunday evenings, I think, probably. I want to say I'm thinking probably like 6, 7 o'clock on Sunday evenings, just as a kind of a recharge and a wind down, so you guys can come. You guys can come hang out with me. Right now, I'm working through Final Fantasy IX. Kind of replaying it a little bit. I've played it before in the past, but this is like the HD remake on the computer, which
Mhm.
has been very interesting. My sound quality has been weird lately. I've been playing around with that, and I think I finally got it where it needs to be. Forgive me, I am a noob, but I'm a noob
Well,
when
we'll
it
get
comes to
better at this. We'll get
streaming.
better
I'm
at this.
terrible, but um, yeah, I think that's gonna just wrap it. That's gonna wrap it up for us tonight, guys. Kestrel, I'm so sorry. I know you just hopped in, and now we're saying goodbye. um, but hey, hopefully we love you all. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Um, Once again, we will be back next week and continuing our dive into the domains of dread. Hopefully, we might be able to get through a few more next week.
Who
we'll see. How,
knows?
we'll see how it goes. It's been fun to just kind of go through it. Nice and slow, and really kind of dig our claws into the meat of it all, and come up with different ideas and different inspirations, just to kind of see what's going on. Also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Feats and Fables, who
Yes.
I believe are supposed to start hosting us sometime soon, I believe. If you haven't checked them out, Feats and Fables plays on Monday nights, they start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 7 p.m. Central. And they are a live play Dungeons and Dragons game that's been going for some time. But those folks are all really cool. If you go watch them, just tell them Ash sent you,
Mhm.
and they'll know immediately who you're talking about. But that's going to be it for us tonight. As always, I'm Ash King,
I'm Michael Cross.
and you have been listening to A&M Talk D&D.
See you guys.
See you guys. Stay safe. Stay sane.
Love
If
you.
you see a heavy mist, run. Bye.